One of the great vehicles in the Mercedes-Benz lineup has long been the E-Class. It's never as flashy as an S-Class, yet it's so much more than a C-Class. It's versatile in its available body styles and powertrain choices, and it represents the perfect bridge between the lower level of the Benz family with the upper crust of the fanciest Mercedes on offer. Now, for the 2024 model year, a new generation of E-Class has arrived, and this one looks to carry that same torch while delivering fresh style, tons of tech, and the continued evolution of one of my own personal favorite body style options. Before we dive more deeply into what's in store for the latest S-Class, just know that Mercedes is yet to reveal any info on the AMG versions that are sure to follow. The regular ones land first, with the higher spec mighty machines to arrive down the road. So for now, we have just two power options with the 2024 E-Class, the E350 and the E450. Both powertrains utilize 48-volt setups that work with the gas engines as well as an electric motor. The electric motor on its own is good for 23 horsepower and 148 pound-feet of torque. In the E350, there's a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and the output is rated at 255 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. On the E450, you have a turbocharged 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine, and the output here is listed at 375 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. Both versions are 4MATIC all-wheel drive models, and both versions also employ a 9-speed automatic gearbox. Stepping back, it's nice to see the exterior design not lean too heavily into the melting shape we see on the electric EQ models. Instead, we get a properly evolved E-Class that takes inspiration from its larger S-Class sibling while retaining the proportions of a proper E-Class model. The AMG line wheel option looks pretty awesome, and the black treatment around the grille gives that space a nice pop of contrast. Inside the cabin, we see more inspiration from the S-Class. This is clearly a next-level E-Class with great trim and design. And now you can also opt for that mega screen, which on the S-Class is called the Hyperscreen. Here it sounds like it's not as mega, and thus gets the name Superscreen. Still, there's tons of tech packed into it, which is as simple as pulsating interior lights to match the beat of your music, on up to an integrated selfie camera that allows you to take Zoom video calls if the car is stopped. On the passenger section of the screen, you can actually display video content, but that's as long as the driver doesn't have a wandering eye. And the car will know because it has a camera tracking your eye movements to make sure you're paying attention to the road. Now, earlier I mentioned that the 2024 E-Class also continues to deliver on one of my favorite body styles. No, I don't mean the coupe or convertible versions. Those are being dropped as full-on E-Class models. Instead, the new versions will be called the CLE class vehicles, or just CLE. CLE Coupe, CLE Convertible. Instead, the one I'm excited to see is the 2024 Mercedes-Benz E-Class Wagon. Yes, it's still alive here in the States, which is pretty amazing to hear. For now, we only know that the all-terrain version is the one coming. I still think Mercedes could ditch that all-terrain and just give us the normal wagon, but I'm thrilled to hear it's still alive regardless. Of course, you know that the AMG variant has to arrive at some point as well. Even though the average car buyer here in the States doesn't particularly love a wagon, the E63 AMG wagon is a truly special car, and those who buy one are very much connoisseurs of all that is awesome and great. There's no word yet on pricing for the new E-Class, but you can expect it to arrive later this year with a price tag just a bit higher than the current model. This means it should start either just below or right at $60,000 for the E350, and the E450 will likely start in the upper reaches of the $60,000 range. That wagon, meanwhile, should start just under, or just a few grand under $75,000. And the AMG one lives in my dreams because I haven't yet found a buyer for one of my kidneys.